Okay, folks, welcome. Friday night edition of Clean the Frickin' Table because there's too much stuff here. All right, let's pick some of this stuff up and get a move on. Trying to get something positive rolling. We did quite a few things just before I ran out of daylight. And something I'm kind of not happy about. But let's just see how that plays out. Let's not jump to conclusions yet. All right. This guy can move over here. These are the Panzer IV, the two Panzer IVs. From Hasegawa that I gave him a spray coat, and you can't get the spray everywhere, so it's gonna have to take a brush some of the other stuff on there. I just don't want to brush paint the whole damn thing. Okay, so that's those two things. And we did strip, here's the tracks for them. We did strip the Panzer IIIF. And this morning I used this stuff called Citrus Strip, which is really cool. I let it work until I was at work, while I was at work. And it's almost like a gel, and it has very little smell. You could use it in your house if you wanted to. I happen to put it in the garage, but it did its thing. I took an old toothbrush to it, and now I don't know. This is the one that was in that ugly yellow. You can still see some of it right there. And this is the one I have, and this is the one that had that figure that was stuck in there that we made the two hatches for. Now we got a couple of Panzer IIIs, Panzer IIIFs. These are both MMS things, and we're going to have to brush some of it on. This little box back here is for the smoke grenades, the way I understand it, and it was glued improperly, so we need to fix that. But before we do any of this stuff, we're going to have to do the goop on the two stands for the gloss-coated vehicles that I did. And here's the part that I'm not really happy about it. These guys darkened a lot. All I did was put a gloss coat on them for protection and applying of the decals, and they darkened a lot. Now, I think when I use flat coats on things look a lot better. So I'm confident that we will get it back to where it was before. It's just pretty dark right now. But there's no weathering on them. The weathering will lighten them up. So this is the 232 and the Stug E. So before we do that, we got to do something that's going to take some time percolating, and that is the two stands for these guys. All right, I don't think I sanded them, so we'll need to do that, and then put the goop on them. That's going to take a little bit of time to let that sit. All right, so let's grab over here where I got my sanding stuff. And we'll see if somebody doesn't have any plans for Friday night and shows up. I'm doing exactly what I had planned, which is to do this. This is exactly what I was planning on doing. this one we're going to have to do a little bit differently, because when we set this on, we're not going to be able to put a channel. We're going to have to mark where the actual tires go. But I've put a 15 millimeter Chariot together, so that's going to be a piece of cake compared to that. Okay, let's grab the magnet stuff. And I really should hide the other one because I've got actually metal somewhere. No, this is definitely the magnet one. Wait, that doesn't make sense. This. Yeah. Okay. We can just cut this one straight across, or kind of straight across. What I should be doing today is getting my gimbal to work. But I don't feel like doing that. That's like work, and I had something thrown on me when I got home that I wasn't expecting, so I'm gonna do what I want to fucking do right now. I have no one here, and I still had to do something I didn't want to do. And we need to do this so that it's ready tomorrow morning. I want to see what these vehicles look like on the stands. Hey, John. Good for me. That's right. That's what a weekend is. Do whatever the hell you want. Wife is away this weekend. Not that she really is part of the problem or anything, but you can see how much of hobby stuff I do on my own while she's here, so that's not really a problem. Okay. Just like I know lots of people that are retired, they have less time to do hobbies when they're retired. I got news for you. If I've got less time to do hobbies when I'm retired, then I'm not going to retire. Because what's the point? What's the point in having less time to do what you want to do? I don't see much point in it. All right, how can we do this and not be uber wasteful? All right, let's bring this in a little bit. About there. It doesn't have to be perfect. But I know lots of people that are like, you never see them ever since they're retired. Well, you're doing it wrong, pal. I mean, unless they're just being disingenuous, then I guess they don't really want to work on their hobbies. I just take people at their word. They say they enjoy a hobby, I figure they want to do it. I think Randy is the only person that I know that is retired and has time for his hobbies. Everybody else just always has something that comes up. That's fine. That's their problem. I think people are just involved in too many things. You know, I mean, my only thing I do is this. I do a little bit of gaming. You know, video gaming. This is what I do. I don't watch sports. I do if we go to a game or something like that, but that involves, you know, doing stuff for the wife. Just on my own, you know. I don't really watch movies. If I do, I'd watch them at lunchtime. I'm not into like doing all kinds of different things. So okay, so goop time. And this is the one that fits on here. And this is all cattywampus. It's just how this model is. It's nothing stellar or anything. I think it's going to lighten up once we I'm not going to tinker with it and add more lightning. It's actually okay being this dark. It's just very few people really have hobbies. Most just watch TV. That's a waste of time. You don't make any decisions. That's why I don't mind playing video games or something like that, because it's like watching television that you get to decide what happens, and, you know, it keeps your brain active. I'm always doing brain stuff, you know. So and this is the one that fits there. Okay, I really want to take this thing off this to see what it looks like, but be patient. Be patient. All right. Let's get our tool. Yeah, too many people. I know somebody who's that's all they do is watch television. And I can't stand television. First of all, most of it's just not even worth watching. And then, you know, they do stuff like, you know, I ain't falling for that. What do you think I am? You know? All right. Goop time. I'm always thinking, though. I think that helps you from getting Alzheimer's, right? Well, if that's true, that's a good thing, because if it caused Alzheimer's, well, I guess I'm going to get Alzheimer's then, because I'm always thinking. Maybe fun thinking, you know. Now we're just going to put a coat of this on it. I like to read books, but I wish it was some kind of like a book club of, you know, like wargamer books or history stuff, not just, may I read this novel? No. That and coffee. That it's good for you or it's bad for you. If it's bad for me, I'm screwed. I actually don't like the taste of coffee. It just gets shit done. And I used to be, back when I used to turn on the news when I woke up, you know, not turn on the news, but seek it out on the internet. One week, coffee's bad for you. Chocolate good. The next one, chocolate bad, coffee good. You wonder why you don't trust the media. You guys change your damn mind all the time. I don't trust none of the media. I don't care if it tells me something I want to hear. You guys cried wolf way too many times. Good for you? Okay. I'm going to live forever. And I don't have it with sugar. Sugar's, man, I get angry with sugar. I don't do well. I never have sweetener. You want sugar, have a piece of fruit, you know? That's my dessert, an apple. Is there that many adults that don't have coffee? I don't know. I have to have coffee to get stuff done. Andrew Wilson, welcome. I'm doing great now. Now it's TGIF. Not 5 hours ago. Or 8 hours ago. People that wake up and, man, I can't wait, it's Friday. Yeah, that's a joker that only works 4/10s. That's how I feel about Saturday. We've got a couple things that we need to order before they run out. I need to order some more of this stuff. I'm going through this faster than I ever have. And then I need to order the magnet, these little magnet things that go on the bottom of pennies. I probably need to get about 100 of them. Basing some more tanks? Yeah. Well, technically, neither one of them is a tank. One of them is an assault gun, and the other one is an armored car. And yes, they're supposed to be glossy at this point, but they got a lot darker. So, I don't know. Really exciting things happen when I add flat coat. So I'm betting it'll go back to where it was before when I flat coated it. If not, I guess it's probably better to be darker. And we haven't added any... we haven't dry brushed the terrain on it. That will light them up too, but... yeah. They look like they just rained on them. Alright, let's... Alright, we just let these guys put this out of the way somewhere. Where's going to be somewhere it's out of the way? Let's just not even put them here. Let's put one there. And let's put the other one over here. Those will be good about 11. I don't think I'll be up at 11. So probably won't be till in the morning. So I needed to start working on that so that can, you know, unlike painting 15 millimeter figures, you got to have like lots of things going on or you end up having downtime. Like I know I'm going to put decals on these guys, but if I do decals, I know the next thing is going to be to paint some of these Panzer IIIs, and the airbrush on them didn't go off as planned. Well, not the airbrush, the spray paint. You can't get everywhere and not overly coat the model. So we're going to have to hand paint stuff. So it's just a matter of, you know, at what point do I want to do the decal thing? I'll let this sit a little bit longer. Although I sprayed it about 2 hours ago, so it should be good to go. All right. Let's do the two Panzer III Fs. Here's the two hatches we made yesterday. I'm rather surprised that wasn't a bigger pain in the ass. But this one is missing the smoke grenade box. It was glued improperly. And these MMS models, miniatures, are not for the inexperienced person. Sometimes they're pretty complex and you need to consult different pictures because it's not abundantly clear sometimes how things go. So this is going to fit like so. And that super glue I just kicked off to the side. Hey Nordic, welcome back. We ended up using the citrus strip this morning. I put it down. And got almost all the stuff off here. Now this goes like this. And what I should do today, like I said earlier, before anybody was on, is I should get the gimbal to work. But you know what? That means no painting video. That means there's zero chance of getting the Stug and the armored car done tomorrow morning. And both of those are no bueno. Okay. We have a jack. I think there's a spare jack floating around somewhere. And neither one of these has a machine gun. So we'll got some sprue for that. This one is missing a machine gun, the one that I bought. So we'll put one in for that. It won't be exactly the right shape, but whatever, dude. It's a war game miniature. Like I said, my war game miniatures are going to look better than most people's, and I'm going to be happy with them, so that's good enough for me. This fat part here of the sprue is really good, is good for that. So let's just take something like from here to here, and we're going to make machine guns out of that part, and just put that away. Now, why is this bent? I don't really want a bent machine gun. Let's see if we can bend this back, or yeah, we could snap it too. All right, so we're going to need 2 hull machine guns and a coax. All right, so let's get the drill bitten. And the pin vise. This big old thing I had to use to try to get the remnants of this clown that was stuck up here. Well, that sucks that they will not be finished. Won't be finished. What? Oh, I plan on getting them done in the morning. We're working on other stuff. We get the stands gooped. I really need to throw away the drill bits in here that are no good. I got some drill bits that came from you know where, and the ends of them are completely flat, so they can't get a purchase on anything. So imagine drilling into something and the bit is completely flat. Doesn't work. You don't need much. It just needs to have something to get it started. Yeah, no, I don't. Brass rod, then I got to worry about cutting brass rod. No, this should work fine. This should work fine. All right, where is the machine gun relative? It's towards the bottom, right. So let's put on something there so we can drill into this. Now, luckily, the 37 millimeter didn't come out because this thing's a pain in the ass to glue because it's on a rounded surface. So I really don't want that to break off. Let's go a little bit deeper so we'll have something of a purchase. And we're not drilling the end of these 37 millimeter cannons out. That is just too risky. Too risky. For this, I wouldn't want to use a Dremel. It's just too... God, they're just too powerful for what we need done. All right, this one, we're just going to go in the middle. Please fit there. Like, not rub up against this thing. I think we can get in there. But I tell you what, I miss doing the plastic models. The only thing I dislike about the plastic models is I'm afraid that I'm just gripping it too hard and I could like, it could fall apart or something. We will do the best we can with what we have. And they will look a lot better than when I got this, the condition that I got this in. Now, one thing I don't know, you know how you got German numbering systems? Sometimes they have yellow numbers, sometimes they have white numbers, sometimes they have red numbers with a white outline. Was that consistent by company? Was it consistent by division? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. But my preference is to use white numbers on these, especially if I'm going to have to paint them. All right, so we need 2 Hall machine guns. Okay, so one's going to be there. The other one's going to be there. And the coax sticks out pretty far, but it looks a little different. I'll just make it a little bit longer. All right, so let's go ahead and glue the coax in. And I'm going to put the super glue out here. And then don't be flipping out on me. Won't be doing that either. All right, and then 2 Hall machine guns. I got lots of this stuff now. I made a bunch the other day. I found out something really interesting making sprue. I hadn't done it in so long, I'd forgotten how. I didn't know once you got it, if you messed it up, you could stick them back together and go again. That was cool. Ended up doing that a few times. These tweezers could be finer than they are. But this is what we have. This is what we'll go with. All right, got 2 Hall machine guns. Now, I have to clean this hatch up a little bit because it's still pretty darn rough. If you put cut up sprue in a Tamiya cement, you can actually make a really good gap filler putty. I believe it. It's made out of the same stuff. See what I did there? I went back to my old ways and called it Tamaya. That's what we used to call it for, when I used to work at a hobby store. So I said that name a few times. There we go. Bimbo, we got it. Whatever this person put on the turret. Now I'm going to leave it on here because it has a hole in it. So I'll be playing the balancing game if I have it here. So let's just go around and get rid of that. It's probably like super saturated super glue. I'm not the best modeler, but I got more patience than a lot of people. And, oh man, can't have anything nice. You stay there. I didn't think I was going to have to do this, but that's the thing about my vision is in the last 5 years, I've had to do everything without contacts in. So I have this built-in magnifying glass of 6.5 that I might as well use. Just pour it on the super glue on this thing. I'm guessing super glue, might not be. Alright, we need more of this rim showing. If possible. It's indented on that one quite a bit. Can also create cast iron paste with Tamaya putty, and I think it's either white spirits or thinner. I'm not used to things smelling. The citrus grip actually worked really well, and if you put it on your hands and you leave it on your hands, you can kind of feel it burning a little bit, so it's not something you want to handle, but it doesn't have a strong smell like acetone or brake cleaner. It's supposed to be environmentally friendly. As I like to call it, not as hateful to the environment. There we go. That's the piece of glue we wanted to get up. There we go. There we go. Feel like I'm doing a dental cleaning on somebody with an X-Acto knife. Ooh. Pine Sol. Oh, I don't like the smell of that stuff. Some people use, what is it, Simple Green or something. Pfft, that ain't worth a shit. I don't have all month to get rid of that. And this is another company that's out of business. MMS is no more. Here's another chunk. Now, this has been damaged even before I got around to it, so we'll do the best we can with what we have. There we go. We got underneath that. There we go. This will be covered. I just want a little ledge to be there. There we go. There's a little rivets I can see now. Yeah, baby. There we go. It's just like super glue on there. Okay, it looks like this part's been mauled up a little bit. Let's just put that on there kind of flush. Now, this is where I wish I was using, this was plastic, and I was using that Tamiya glue, because you could just put it in place and then just go around the edges and it would percolate in and it would all weld together. Can't do that with this. All right, we're gonna need to go, man, I don't even know how to do this. Yeah, I do. Really, I found the spot that the super glue is at, and now I got a super gluey spot on here. Oh, it's that super glue smell. I don't like that one. All right, I know what we're gonna do. We're gonna come over to this edge, and we're just gonna trim the tiniest. That might be enough. It's not gonna take a whole lot. Not going to take a whole lot. Exhibit A. All right, and we're going to draw a center like it's split. Okay, but now we got to get it out. We got to get it. I think I got to get it out. Come on. Okay. Good. Now. Come on. All right. Let's get an applicator. For an applicator, where is those needles I like to use? Boy, that didn't come out right. If I had to do drugs, I would make sure I would do drugs that I could get more shit done, not less. If someone complains about the damaged part, just say it's battle damage. Nope. Yeah, I don't think I'd be a good dentist. Some people have scary mouths. I fall asleep at the dentist. The most pain I've ever had going to the dentist is when I had braces on. And they tighten those effing braces. And sometimes they leave that wire sticking a little bit out. And I'd have to take a wire cutter or something like that to trim it more because it'd just destroy my gums. So I've been through that in the 80s, so nothing else. I've had one crown put in, piece of cake. I'm just like a preventative, just in case crown. I don't enjoy going to the dentist, but I'm not scared. Like, oh, I gotta go to the dentist. Nope, not this guy. I don't like going to the regular doctor. First of all, they're always late. I don't really want to go to any of those people until that. There's just something fucked up about being naked, but you gotta wear a mask. That's just something, that's just fucked up. I'll go to the doctor, well, you don't have to wear a damn mask. I mean, I don't care about being naked. It's not like I'm giving them a thrill. They see naked people all the time. I get more excited about Sherman tanks than they do about a naked body, probably. All right. That's going to sit in there. And then this one. Honestly, I think it worked pretty freaking well. I really didn't know what to expect. Let's make sure this one fits in there okay. And then we'll do the same thing with this guy. Yeah. Yeah, I'd say it does. Didn't hear a damn thing about those needles. I just don't know. I don't know anything about them. I don't know anything about. I don't know shit about drugs. Caffeine, alcohol, ibuprofen, Tylenol. That's the only drugs I know anything about. Especially caffeine. That's the good one. The get her done drugs. All right, we'll drop this guy in here. Poof. There it is. Twinsies. Yeah. See if we can find that jack without going crazy. Except I know where, I even know where the other parts of this Panzer II are at. Oh, and then I got a cool Panzer II story I got to tell you about. So this is a Panzer II C, Panzer II B. It's not a Panzer II C. No, it's a Panzer II C. And so is this one as well. The B has totally different running gear, even though the turret is different. This is a split turret, and this one's almost like a cupola style. Haven't had caffeine outside of chocolate form in almost 2 years. Wow. How are you alive? Yeah, I know. If somebody said I couldn't have it, you just don't have it, you know? All right. If I can't find where this jack is, we can put it on afterwards. It's not that big a deal. I just want to know what the hell I can make with these little tanks. Okay, this must be somewhere totally different. Okay. Maybe it's with the Russian POSs. I wonder what happened with this. I never finished this T3485. I even put the decal of it of your mother was a hamster or whatever the hell it says on there. Yeah, well, we'll finish these guys up when we get to the Russian part. This is the kit I was talking about that's a beast. It's actually looks really nice. It just doesn't have it. You've got all these like grab handles and stuff. Nothing has little holes in it. It just shows you this. Let's see, is this an instruction sheet? This is abortion. Oh, you got to see this. This is classic. This is not a Tamiya kit. Look at this. Oh, you put that there and put the other piece there and this one's over here and don't forget that one. You know, it's just like, what the hell? I don't even know who makes this. But I got this probably around 1992. Something like that. But you can actually make an SU 122, two versions of the 122, the 152, and I decided to do the long 122 on it. Yeah, this thing's going to look sweet. And I've got most of it done. I got most of it done. Yeah, it's actually separate link track. And that was a couple years ago with separate link track. I wasn't even as proud of it as I am now. And I got a JS2 here. I don't know why the hell they didn't finish this thing. It's got decals on it as well. And hand-painted numbers. I wonder what the hell happened. Yeah, I don't know. Well, you better believe I'm going to finish them when we get to the Russians. Yeah, here's the model. Here's the box for it. I'll show that to you. I know you're into models. Maybe you recognize who the hell it is. Although you probably didn't do this scale. Here is box. Now, I hate these kinds of boxes. I like the ones that have a top and a bottom. Not this stuff can slide out of them crap. You know. I have no idea who makes this. It's catalog number 005, though. What else we got in here? And this is just a piece of the... I have some US effing decals. Look at that. I thought I had some. Well, I'll be a horse's patoot. From decal. Well, here's the decals I'm going to use for my half tracks. Excellent. I bet those aren't a piece of shit like those petting house ones. I knew I had them somewhere. Oh, not only that, I got 2 sets of the bastards. Excellent. Okay, here's the German reconnaissance set. So this is the set that came with the Kubelwagen and the 222 and the 222. All right. And here's the decal set that I bought for the Russian numbers. These are excellent. I forget who makes these, but these are really good. Microscale. Yeah, these are thin. They're not super thick. They're just like, I've never had a problem with water slide decals, except those petting house ones. All right, let's put this stuff back. We didn't find the jack. I'm not going to worry about the jack right now. We can put it on afterwards. We're going to finish all this shit because there's other stuff I want to buy. I got to earn it. You got to keep yourself on some kind of a leash. But it just feels, you know, I mean, I personally feel like crap if I buy a lot of stuff and don't do anything with it. It's kind of like a waste of money. Somewhere, there's a little box that has the martyrs and shit like that. Is it down here maybe? No, is it here? What's this? Damn you, Hans. Yeah. What about in this box? I think this is it. This is fun. Every time I look for something, I find new shit. Okay, here is a Panther with no barrel from BP Cast. I ain't got time for that. This is Brits. Oh, my back. What's this? Germans or Russians? Here we go. Here's the stuff that I was looking for. Lots of extra bags. Panzer IIF. 1895. 20 years ago. That's expensive. Here's my Hago. Cute little thing. Here's a couple of BP casts. Here's a 250/1. And some kind of Bren carrier. Scout Bren carrier. This is why I do this scale. I know the wheels aren't the right size. Whatever, they're all hooptied out. Civilian vehicles. What's in here? Oh, parts for a Hummel that I built a long time ago. Might be something salvageable in there. Okay, these are the parts. Well, that really shouldn't even be in there. Okay, here is the Martyr II, which is an ugly, ugly vehicle. This thing, ugly vehicle. And it's missing all kinds of stuff. Here's one of these flags with the crooked spider people. I don't know how the hell I got that. I must have gotten that from somebody. I don't plan on putting that on any of my vehicles. It's unnecessary. We know they're evil bastards. We don't have to keep being reminded of them. Well, I thought they were in here. Well, like I said, I'm not going to worry about them. We're just going to move on. I got a little baggie somewhere that has the barrel of that Panzer II. It's obviously bashful and doesn't want to be found on the live feed. I'll find it, and we'll put that thing on there. All right, and at that point, we'll find the jack that's in there. It's in there as well. So we're not even going to mess with these Panzer IIs at the time. Okay, so we don't have a jack. Let's go ahead and let's paint these black. Okay, because once we're done painting these black, then we can, and it's dried, we can paint it. So that'd be a good time to do the decals. A Panther with no barrel is a useless roadblock. That's right. Did your scale in the mid-90s when I had 72nd scale in Soviet Russia? Box identifies you. Exactly. Let's see. What did we say? Good Nestle's directions. Good model builder's tip is mark off each piece after you build and attach it with a pen so you don't go nuts. Things show up when you least expect them. Yep. The Soviets had some nice looking vehicles for model building, but the fact that they're all green or whitewashed wit sucks. Yeah, they got some early ones. Someone put on the Rolling Stones? I don't hear any music, or that's a reference to something else. Oh, Paint It Black, that's right. That's their best song, as far as I'm concerned. I'm not a big fan of them. I wouldn't even say that I'm a fan of them, but that's their best song. Music just isn't important anymore. You know, when you're 18, 19 years old, and I had a Walkman, and I took that everywhere, that was my cell phone. It was a big deal. Now it's like, psh, I don't care. You know, this. Okay, let's get the black out. And paint this. And then while this is drying, we will put some decals on. And we actually found a brush that we were able to salvage after we did this to it because it didn't destroy it. Which one was it? Was it this one? Yeah, I think this is the one that we used to. Yeah. Was it Tour of Duty that they had, that they played that song in the intro? Man, I don't remember 1988 that well. All right. Wayne says, thanks for the memories. Hey, Wayne. What are you drinking tonight? I tell you what, I think I'm going to have some vodka when I'm working on the Russian tanks. What do you think about that? You know, I'm not going to drink a lot. I'll take a swig here and a swig there. Last time I did that, I didn't even have a buzz. But I was also really careful. And it doesn't taste that good, so it's not like you can go nuts with it. Maybe I'm just not alcoholic enough. So one of the things that I found in my skirmish scenario books that I have is, and I've got several of them that are 1941, is when the T-34s make an appearance, they're in sets of 3. The model, oh man, really? The antenna fell off? This is a POS. No wonder these bastards lost the war. Good thing. They came in sets of 3, so I'm probably going to put 3 of the T-34s together. The Model 40s. And some of them, they use that 3-color camouflage. I don't know how it looks. I think might as well just make all 3 of them green. I got like freaking 8 of them, so I can experiment with some whitewash. Some of it'll... I'm sure I'll be happy. I can figure out something that I'll be happy with the whitewashing. Let's be careful with that little sprue. Scotch on the rocks. Man! Just like me. I like that. On the rocks. Absolutely. You put your liquor on ice? Yes, I live in Florida. It's hot as shit here all the time. Deal with it. How did I get along with Ian? You hate vodka. Absinthe. Too late to bring out my A material. Ian. Which Ian? I'm drawing a blank. I feel like I should know what that means. Oh, the storm. We didn't even get a drop of rain. That's the weirdest thing. I knew we weren't going to get any damage, but we didn't even get a drop of rain. It didn't rain until like 2 days ago. So, but that's why, that's the thing about living in this place is the storms really don't come here. But there are some places that we vacationed several times that are just devastated. They're worse than the Ukraine, I guess. I mean, is the Ukraine thing still going on? I don't watch the news, but it's like if they had lost a war, it'd be in better shape. That Fort Myers beach is just, it's really sad. I was watching the news coverage for like the first day. I don't really watch the news because they're always some kind of angle. It's always trying to change into some kind of an angle. Where they're like, oh, the pier is destroyed. Who gives a shit about the pier? Okay? Nobody lives at the pier. They don't make their business there. The government just goes and builds another one. But people's businesses and stuff, their homes, it's just really, really sad. And I think there was a lot of loss of life. I mean, when you have a hurricane and you have more than like 20 people killed, that's a lot of deaths. And last time I checked, it was in the 50s. And I'm sure it's probably more than that, but I'm surprised. There was one hotel that we would go down there. It's on Fort Myers Beach. It's called Pink Shell. I think it's an older hotel, like it was built in the 60s or the 50s, but they knew how to build that thing right well because that thing didn't move. Well, it probably. The problem is the sand came up and all kinds of stuff, but I think structurally it's probably okay, but. They got sand in places where sand doesn't go, but it's just really sad. We knew Fort Myers Beach really well because we used to go there for 4th of July like 5 years in a row. It's a great place to go. The beach there is beautiful. Sand is perfect. It's like, almost like baby powder. And it's just sad. And then there was like looting. Like, why would you go and loot people that don't have anything? Like, you're upset and you want to loot. Go loot the, people whose houses didn't get damaged. I don't know. Maybe I'm just looking at it wrong. Maybe I wouldn't make a very good looter. I don't know. But reminds me again why I'm not going to retire at the beach. As much as I would love to live at the beach, because I'm a beach person, and it's good for my skin too. But I how do you get a how do you I don't know, where do you begin? There was this one place there on Fort Myers Beach. It was a little Greek restaurant. Because when we travel, we usually will seek out like German food or Greek food because it's just something exotic that we don't really have in our town. And there was this little Greek place that's it's gone. I mean, it's like doesn't exist. That and all the businesses around it was like they were never built. It was like a memory that never happened. It's just really sad, but Mother Nature's a bitch. She is. We lost power for an hour. It came around like 2 hours by the crow flies south of us. So it never really got close. But it was just amazing that we didn't get any rain. I've never seen that happen before. Show my brush holder. We loot because it's an excellent training for pre-Christmas sales. Are those even a thing? Are those even a thing? Amazon's put all that shit out of business. Which, to be honest with you, I actually enjoy doing that on Thanksgiving evening, because I have a very small family, so there's not much to do on that holiday, and that's always a 4-day weekend. So, and they're gonna make people work anyway, so you might as well. But I think last 2 years we haven't done any of it. We're just like tired of going to stores and people and places not having stuff. We'll just go on. We fortunately don't really need anything, so. Brush holder? This one? Oh, this? Rock and Roll Sushi. It's actually a pretty cool place. It's a little local restaurant, and it's almost like a mini Hard Rock Cafe. Very, very mini, but they got music videos and shit like that playing, and the girls like sushi. I don't ever crave it. They don't have Japanese beer on tap, so that's kind of a bummer. There was actually a shortage of that when the pandemic first happened. They weren't having. They'd go to stores and the stores not having anything in stock. Yeah, it happens all the time. Yeah. Happens all the time. People can't be bothered to help you. I mean, I don't really need help. I just don't want to spend all day looking for shit just because they moved where it was in the store because they thought it was cute. But people can't be bothered to get off the damn phones now. Used to be you'd fire people like that. Now it's just like, everybody's screwing around all the time, constantly. Oh well. Joke's on them. Amazon gets most of my business. I haven't set foot in a Walmart in, I don't know, 6 years? 5, 6 years? They did this little stunt 5 or 6 years ago. We're like, we're not going to carry ammunition because you guys are killing each other. And I'm like, all right, you're gonna play Big Daddy to me? Fine. I won't go in your store and deal with trashy people that go there anyways. All right, that one's done, or done enough. Let's go ahead and rinse this joker. I'm not a fan of being told by what to do, especially by people that have no moral authority over me. I can't stand my phone, so I'm seldom on it. Thanksgiving, eat too much turkey and dressing, pass out in front of TV, Detroit Lions lose another football game. Happy Thanksgiving. Yeah, they got a problem. They got a problem. I remember back in the day, and the day was early 90s when I lived alone and didn't have cable. I'd watch, and I'm not a football person, I'm not a sports person, but I watched Monday Night Football every Monday because it was cool. It was educational, especially Al Michaels. It's like basically a war. It's, stats, and I get into that. And I remember seeing so many times back when they had Barry Sanders. He was really talented, and that was it. Nobody else was on the team, and nobody could block for him. And, he could do all the dodging he wanted to, but nobody else on the team could help the guy out. That's the first thing. You say the Detroit Lions, that's the first thing I think of. Nobody blocking for Barry. I do love football video games, like Madden and stuff. But people that are really into football, they don't. And I'm like, okay, well, that's like football, but you get to make decisions, right? That's why I play war games, because it's like, it's not like I sit around and watch somebody else play a war game. I want to make decisions. And sometimes they're good and sometimes they're bad. But Thanksgiving is my favorite holiday. Oh, I hate to sound like a poo-pooer, but it's probably my least favorite holiday. Why? Because I don't like Thanksgiving food. I don't. My favorite Thanksgiving food is pie if they have some. I'm just not a Thanksgiving food person. And usually Thanksgiving, let's have some ham. My people we're the ham eaters. Hey, my ancestors brought them to this world. I guess they got drunk on Spanish wine and just let them run loose. I actually didn't know that until a few years ago. Blasphemy. Well, I can't like every holiday. I don't like Thanksgiving. And it's got no problem. It's got nothing to do with family time. I never had a grandmother go visit. I don't have anything that I associate it with other than food that I don't really care for. Went a couple times to Miami, then you could have like a Cuban Thanksgiving, and then you've got like, Cuban food for Thanksgiving. That's okay. But traditional Thanksgiving food, no thanks. I never want it. 1964, the Detroit Lions defeated the mighty Green Bay Packers. Oh, I had to rub it in Mitch's nose. The greatest team in the NFL on Thanksgiving Day. My dad destroyed the TV set. I bet I like St. Patrick's Day. Well, I tell you what, for the longest time, I never did anything St. Patrick's-y on St. Patrick's Day, but a couple of years ago I did. And, it didn't involve heavy drinking. It just involved, drinking. And, yeah, I like St. Patrick's Day. It's a Catholic holiday. What's not to like? We know how to have a good time. Not Puritans eating frickin' corn and shit. Oh. No, I never really did anything for St. Patrick's Day. I don't have any problem with Irish people. I had a friend of mine who's the only person that I knew that was Irish and proud of it. And he actually lives in your neck of the woods. Nordic. He lives up in Pennsylvania. I found him. It took me 20 years to find him. Well, it's really hard to find somebody who's not on Facebook and their name happens to be Mike O'Neill. There's only a million of those mothers around. And, they're in every Irish family. And, you know how small those families are. You saying there's traditional Cuban Thanksgiving food? No, it's just regular Cuban food. It's just regular Cuban food. Yeah, and I rarely eat that stuff. But man, I love those fried bananas. Oh man, I love those fried bananas. Those jokers are good. Yeah, but who the hell wants to eat turkey when you can have ropa vieja, or vaca frita or any of that stuff? Thanksgiving food's bland. You like the free passes and confessionals. Well, just think of it. Do you want to go to a wedding that's dry? No. What's the freaking point? What's the freaking point in going to a dry wedding? Especially if you're the one getting married. And, drinking's not a big part of my life, but still, that's one of the things you can do. They are plantains. They're the sweet ones. See. Yep. If I have to eat turkey, I want it to be the deep fried one. Because everybody likes that. And it might just be, because you're in a different part of the U.S., where the traditional Thanksgiving stuff's a bigger deal. My ancestors didn't do that. My ancestors just, we didn't make a peace treaty with the Indians. We just took everything from them, enslaved them, and let the pigs run loose, and everybody eats ham. And make my own demented history lessons. Just boil it down and just keep it simple. Cliff notes to history. That my A material? I'm not sure I know what you mean by A material, but you can make fun of just about everything. It's just how it's presented, and as long as you're not being serious. I'm from the time that we used to just laugh about stuff, and there was nothing wrong with it, I think it all started when you didn't. Oh. Let's be careful here. There we go. We've got this soap in the house that I hate the way it smells, like hand soap. It's called Myers soap, and I hate the way it smells. But that thing cleans these brushes really well, so I told my wife, and she really likes it. I'm like, I don't like that for hand soap. It just smells weird. Wedding Crashers movie was a copy of my dating strategy in the 90s. Bagged the bridesmaids. It took me a long time to watch that movie, and I wasn't that impressed. My brother loves it, but I guess he's got a different sense of humor than I do. My favorite kind of humor is ethnic humor. The kind that everybody's offended to do these days, but hey, that's the stuff I grew up on. Gotta be able to laugh at yourself. Wow, we still got some of this. stuff down here. So tomorrow I should be off to a cool bookstore that I should be able to explore without having too much interruption, without any interruption, hopefully. And I'm going to go look at World War II stuff, because the hell do I need to look at ancients and medieval stuff? I call it a used bookstore, but hell, most of the stuff there is like new. You know, like if I like turned all my stuff in and wanted to get money for it, or, you know, all my books, I mean, they're in good shape. I take care of my books. How many Virginians does it take to charge a burnout light bulb? I don't know. That depends on whether or not you're proud of Virginians or not. Are you proud of your state? I'm proud of my state. I like my state. If you don't like my state, get the hell out of it. I like my long penis-shaped state. And Florida man's a Yankee they let in here. Hello, gents. Mr. Skylab. Coming in late here. I had to guide my 84-year-old parents on how to register to vote this year. They haven't registered to vote? I swear computers are meant to drive senior citizens crazy. I'll hear something like, it'll be somebody famous. And I'm like, yeah, I just registered to vote for the first time. I'm like, dude, you're like in your 50s. Why aren't you registered to vote when you're 18? I don't know. Doesn't make any sense to me. I mean, I did it when I thought it made a difference. Now it'd be like, I know it doesn't make a difference. Native Virgin Iron. Native Virgin Iron. I love it when people like from Tennessee, they go, oh, well, I live in the South. Well, Tennessee's not the South, pal. You must have failed geography. But then I'll admit, I'm a fan of the South, but I'm not Southern. I'm definitely not Southern. And if you're a fan of being Southern, well, good for you. I'm definitely not Southern. So, a lot quicker to spray paint things, but you know, you can't get in all these nooks and crannies. Otherwise, you would just throw so much paint in places it doesn't belong that you would obscure all the detail. But we're almost done with this anyways. No, people in their 30s that don't have a driver's license. What? Do you know anybody in their 30s that doesn't want to drive? Because that's like a thing, apparently, okay? I think responsibility is empowering. I mean, you don't need to be a slave, but it's good to do things for yourself, you know? But do you know any adults that just don't want to drive? Answer 10. Want to change a light bulb, and 9 to discuss the heritage of the expired light bulb. Oh, is that a thing in Virginia? Wait, have you been hitting the booze tonight and not sharing? No, Actually, the most coherent that you've been in a long time. Is that a thing? Like, if everybody's in Virginia is worried about whether or not their families are Confederate or whatever. That's one thing that never appeals to me about the Civil War is since, my people are recently washed up on shore, so to speak. I don't have there's no background of, well, my family used to hate your family and we got into it and my great granddad used to fight on one side and my great uncle was on the other. I don't have any of that in me, you know. So maybe that's an appeal for some people, but not into Civil War stuff. Scotch on the rocks. That's what we have when we're on a Bond marathon. Which, by the way, I tend to fall asleep when we're watching them. Man, some of the movies I used to like as a kid are just really freaking boring. And it doesn't help that we don't start watching a movie till about 9 o'clock at night. And I'm a morning. Well, I'm not a night owl. What's the opposite of a morning owl? Of a night owl? But that's what we have. Yes, I know a lot of younger generation don't have their driver's license. Very frustrating. A change in society isn't welcome. I'd be more willing to drive if cell phones didn't exist. Well, I was one of the last people to have a car. So all my friends had cars, well, I didn't. I had to get around on a bike. So I'll be goddamned if I'm going to take public transportation, unless I absolutely have to, if I live in some environment where I can't. I'm driving my own effing car by myself because I didn't get a car until my late 20s. And it's not because I didn't want one. I couldn't afford one or, mainly couldn't afford one. So I'll be goddamned if I don't want no electric car. I don't want none of that shit. I did the time. I got a guy at I work with that's into cars, and he's really into station wagons. And look, I grew up in the 70s and 80s, and we had a station wagon, and I got made fun of because I rode in my parents' station wagon to school. I ain't getting no damn grocery getter, okay? I asked him, I said, you didn't have one growing up, did you? He said, no. Well, that's why. I don't want no damn station wagon. Early riser. Early riser. Yep, that's me. Every day. I'll be up at 5 o'clock tomorrow morning. But I can have scotch late at night, not even chase it with any water, get 4 hours of sleep. And, I'm tired, but I'm not messed up. I have a couple beers late. I probably have a migraine from hell when I wake up. So I'm good with the scotch. Something that's low on sugar. All right, we're going to have to go in there and get something much thinner to get in here. There we go. Get in there, you Nazi tank. We're supposedly going to play a new game on Monday. I might film it. We'll see how that works out. We don't really know what we're doing. Scott's not real familiar with the rules. I may film it. I may not. We'll see how it goes. Obviously, we can't do them live because the resolution would just be crap. We can only do live stuff here because we're plugged into the cable modem, whatever the hell it's called. Oh, we got enough of that done. Got enough of that done. All right, let's put this away. I'll be right back. I'm going to rinse these things in that shitty soap that I can't stand. And then we'll pull out some Panzer colors and some decals and put some markings on these Nazi bastards. Be right back. Speaking of Nazi bastards, you guys know, any of you guys know any, what's the term for them? Wearaboos. I used to know one guy that maybe would qualify as one. Oh man, there's other black things I could be doing. Well, they'll just have to wait. A long time ago, there's a guy that was, he enjoyed playing the Germans just a little too much. Didn't affect me, you know. But, I don't know, is that a thing? I mean, you know. I always thought it was strange back when I used to build the Tamiya kits. You know, it's a Japanese company, right? And they make like, at that time, they only made like one Japanese tank. But they made like, you know, 40 freaking German tanks. And they made more German tanks than everybody else times 3. You know, but I mean, the German tanks were always cool, but, you know, you got to remember those guys are rat bastards, you know. But I don't know anybody that's, you know, the people that we used to play like playing Germans because their equipment's cool, you know, and they're generally the underdogs, and there's generally, you know, quality versus quantity. At least at that time, maybe that's not as apparent now with the stuff that's come out in the last 20 years, but I didn't know anybody that was, you know, wearing German paraphernalia and shit like that. Wow, that brought back an old memory. Uh-oh. Well, you are from Nebraska, Rick. Went to high school with a guy who was literally a Hitler Youth in 2005. What? He did very little to hide it. I just find that hard to believe. I just, you know. Yeah, I just find that hard to believe, but that there's people out there like that. But I guess there are people out there like that. I mean, there's commie scum people, which it's the same coin, just two different faces. I would absolutely love to know what he's doing these days, or how much time he's doing these days. Wow, look how dark these guys got. Well, I bet when we flat coat them, they'll lighten back up again. I think it's just a function of that. I mean, it doesn't look bad. I'm glad they're darker than lighter because we're going to end up doing some weathering and stuff to them. Oh, I never painted that box or whatever the hell that is. We can do that afterwards. Okay. Let's go look at some books. That's what we got them for. Even though we don't really need them anymore. Oh, I even have this book on the Stug. I didn't even know I had this. I haven't looked at it in 25 freaking years. This is back when the military book club came out. Man, I made like a bandit. And then they just harass the shit out of you. But this was the Osprey books they made specifically for the military book club. What did I use to make them that dark? Just clear spray. Just clear gloss. That's it. They'll lighten back up again. Most of the pictures you see of this stuff, they're this dark anyway, so maybe it auto-corrected. Ooh. What's this? Let's see what plates are in here for inspiration. I hate that the plates are so far away from the descriptions of them. That would be nice if we ever came across a plate. You know, these guys are like masters of propaganda. Because they always have like cool symbols and stuff like that. This is what? Sturm Geschütz Abteilung. Okay, so Stug Battalion 197 in Russia, 1942. And that is a 3. That is a Stug 3E. E is what I meant. Here's another one. It's 249. Then there's a D that's in Africa, because they actually had some that went to Africa, but not too many of them made them down there. Here's the inner workings of one. Oh, here's a bunch of them. I actually like this artwork styles these are done in. They're relatively dark. All right. These are A's. Grossdeutschland with the brown camo. Actually have brown camo on them. Chocolate brown. All right. What if I actually didn't think I was gonna. I didn't know I had this book. I didn't know I was gonna find units of the E. All right. So what are these two units? Let's find out what these two units are. The Battalion 249 and the other one is 197. They were both in Russia in 1942. This particular model didn't come out until like September 41. So let's write these two things down. Let's find out where these two units were, and maybe we'll paint the unit. Well, maybe we'll paint this guy as one of the two. How about that? Okay, so this is 249, and it has like a Z symbol and a B on it. And the other one has the Eagle 197. Okay, and there's plates descriptions on them. So let's read about 249 first. What plate is this? Nice, I told you. All the way down here. Early successes in Russia. Ah, yes. Early. Then went to shit. Okay, this is the 249. Stug Battalion 249 was founded on the 10th of January 42, was the last Stug Battalion which was initially equipped with a short 75. The Aust E had been in production since September 41, yeah I said that, and was replaced by the Aust F in March 42. The E can be identified by long responses on both sides of the superstructure. The E of 249 were painted in dunkelgrau. Markings included wolf angle emblem, a black flash on a yellow shield outlined in white on the upper nose armor plate and the rear armor of the smoke candle rack. The Balkenkreuz was painted in black with a white outline on either side of the superstructure on the rear armor of the smoke candle rack. Each Stug carried an identifying letter on each side of the superstructure on the front right of the superstructure and on the tailplate. Well, that didn't tell me shit. This is the 197 is the one with the eagle, founded on 25th of November 1940, served in southern Russia. As with all the German armored vehicles of this period, it was painted in dunkelgrau. Marquees included the Stug Battalion 197 Kanner Adler, a black eagle clutching grenades on a white shield on the front of the upper nose armor plate and the rear armor of the smoke candle dispenser. Does this thing have a smoke candle dispenser? I guess it's the little thing on the back. It had carried each Stug Battalion 197 carried an identifying letter, normally A, B, C, etc. on both sides of the superstructure and on the rear plate. In this case, the letter was replaced by Z1. There's 26 of them in there. Alright, it still doesn't tell me where those two units were. Used walls and end tables, get up off the floor. If you start drinking on the floor, then you're okay. I remember my first interest in Stugs was when I discovered Grossdeutschland had a battery of early Stugs attached in France. When I built a lot of 135th scale models, I was a fan of Grossdeutschland. Because they seemed to be in some interesting places, and at Kursk they had their own Tigers, and yeah, I was a fan of the Grossdeutschland as a unit to model. And they weren't SS units. I don't like SS units. Screw those guys. I should say screw those guys more. Let's see where Stug Abteilung 249 was at. There's actually a lot of information on. If one of these was at Stalingrad, I'm probably actually going to do that one, probably. Nice. Well, that's the problem with using this. No, that doesn't tell me what it is. Here's a pre-one for that one, but it doesn't have the shield. I'll tell you what, we'll put the Balkenkreuz on there, and then we'll worry about the unit stuff later. So, love the attention when I use my canes, the red tips on them. Okay. All right, where do they decide to put these symbols on it? Right in the middle. Great, it's blocked by stuff. It's there, it's got to be pretty freaking small. I don't know if I got one that small. I could just hand paint it, but then why the hell did I gloss coat the thing? Oh, this is the grenades. It's an eagle with some potato mashers. Cool. And And that one's got it on the rear plate. God, those are small. I don't know if I've got one that small. If not, I'll just have to hand paint them. All right, let's see what we got in the decals. I'm glad I thought I had some U.S. stars. All right, let's see what we got here. I think these are too big. Here it is, Gross Deutschland. That one might actually fit right there. These narrow ones, I think I'm going to use the narrow ones for this guy. I think he would look good with the narrow one. All right. Oh, really? All right. We could have had a disaster here. I'll be right back. Could have been really bad. I felt something wet and I'm like, shit, I got black paint on my leg. And fortunately, it's on a part that's not on my clothes. All right, where are the other decals? Okay, it is high time to put these guys, if we're gonna get serious about this, we're gonna get a little Ziploc bag, and we're going to put all these guys in here. Okay, should be easy to do. I said should be. Let's see what we got to choose from. 2 p.m. to 2 a.m. video game marathon at my friend's house. You play those old video games too, don't you? I lived through that stuff. I don't see. Okay, these are the Hasegawa ones. Okay. Those are a little smaller. We got these. These are the ones that are Fujimi. Okay. This is the Stug that is the 3G. We'll save that for that. This is the one that came with the Eschi Frankenpanzer. More US decals. Excellent. Well, these are some big ones. The M. I'm gonna have to paint the the ones on the flamethrower tank. The flamethrower tanks have, I think, 4-digit code, the one I'm going to use. And these are old. Let's take a look at this again and see if this fits in here. Let's cut one out. That's what I forgot to get. More X-Acto blades. I may have one that's still in pretty good shape. That's how I got that paint. I got to take my glasses off to do any simple thing. Oh, stop it. Okay. I think we're going to use. Oh, these are the smallest ones. I think. Let's use these small ones because there's not a lot of meat where these are going. Yeah, let's just take these 3. And these just have the little, the decal a little bit around the cross, not the whole entire piece of paper like those damn Pettinghouse ones are. Damn Germans. Leave it to them to do something like that. The whole sheet's one decal. Like, your older favorites. I don't know that I have an older game that I like. The old Genesis game. There was a game way back in the day called Star Control. We played the hell out of that game. And go to our buddy's house that had a Sega Genesis. Wife just made a floor blanket pallet for me to sleep on tonight, so I need to try to get up off the floor again. That's right. You stay on the ground there, pal. Well, there's worse things a wife can do than leave you alone. There's worse things she could do. I'm going to give you a honeydew list. Now, why don't you just leave me alone? I'll just sleep here on the floor. Use this one. All right. Can we drop all 3 of these? Yeah, we're going to. These guys soak it up. And let's get out the stinky stuff. Micro set, right? It's the vinegar one. Oh, yeah. Oh, my favorite smell. Not. No. A brush we don't detest. So it should be fine. I don't know that it'll fit right there. Well, we could try it. If not, we'll move it here. I know it'll fit here. I don't know if it'll fit there. Even if it fit there, the one on this side's going to be obscured by that. So I think I'm just going to put it on this spot right here and be done with it. I don't know if this is even needed that much because it's kind of a flat spot to begin with. And we're going to put the one in the back here. That one invariably will be dirtied up some. Dustified. Oh, really? Part of the decal broke off. Well, there's a sign that they're old. Oh, man. It's split in a million pieces. Woo! See if you guys can see this. Let's get the lighting in the right place. The phone's unfortunately blocking the light. Watch when I try to move this decal. Doosh! Oh, man. Crusty German decal. All right. I guess we'll use that. I waited too long to build these things. They're falling apart, which means these other ones probably aren't worth a damn either. This is a different decal sheet, but it's also eshy. Let's find out if they're garbage too. Let's find out if these things are garbage. These things almost out of register a little bit. Gives me too much trouble. I'll just hand paint these jokers. I don't know why these model kits were in such high regard. The Eshies, I don't think they're very good at all. It's out of register a little bit. See that? Okay, why did this get so freaking dark? This is annoying. I gotta adjust this light level every freaking day. Like, why don't you leave it the same place it was last time? Let's try that. Looks like it's out of register. Man, these Nazis are trouble. Everywhere you turn, they're trouble. These decals have just gotten so old. There's no telling how old they were before I got them, and I've been sitting on them for too long. All right, let's look at that 222, 232. Let's see if we got anything in Panzer colors. Let's go to Panzer colors 1 first. We don't care about North Africa. Actually, I do care about North Africa. We just don't care about North Africa right now. Oh, that's where the license plate is on it? I bet they didn't give me a little spot for it. No. Oh, yeah, they did. This little plate here is where the license plate. Well, I'm not going to find one that's the right size, so I'll paint it white and scribble some stuff on there. And then it has a plate down here at the bottom. Well, I could have just picked the spot and this thing. This is that ugly ass vehicle I've got, that Martyr 2. Look at this ugly ass thing. This one right here. Call evening short. Having one of my evenings and not feeling all that great. Yeah. All right. We're gonna wing it. I want to put it either here or here, one of those two spots on it. So let me see what, and we're going to paint those two things in white and scribble some stuff on there like it says something. I'm not going to do, hey, let's do the research and find out which driver's license numbers. Nah, whatever. Yeah, that particular Martyr is ugly. That's the Martyr 2. Let's look at, let's look for SDKFZ232, 8rad, yes. And I want to look at pictures. And here it has it on the rear. Here it has it on the rear, a rear of that brake. Here it has it on the rear. Tamiya kit has it on the rear side. Okay, that's pretty conclusive evidence as far as I'm concerned. Okay. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to put it there. All right. Good. And we'll use one of the narrow ones and see if it's not dry rotten. And rear meaning, see there's this vertical break where it comes in at this angle and then it does that way. It's on the rear side of it. So we're going to put it right there and right there. All right. See where I found the narrow ones. Nope. Those are only the ones that came with the... Oh, the one that had the recon set. Yeah. Yeah, I can't even use these license plate numbers if I wanted to because they're not the right size. These are much bigger than... This is not a very good model. Let's see if these narrow ones, they're not too old. Just take these two out for now. I don't know that I even need to use this stuff, but I have it. If I don't use it for this, what the hell am I going to use it for? It's so glossy it doesn't even stick to it. "30-year-old decals." Yeah, well, I didn't know that. I've never had 30-year-old. And like I said, they might be a lot older than that, too. This is the least of the problems. It's the stars. I don't want to hand paint the stars. I can paint these little things on if I had to. All right. And let's put the little turret on here, see how it looks like with it on there. Kind of hard to tell until it's going to be flat. Let's go back to this screen, which I'm not talented enough to show you, and see if I see any of them that have turret numbers on them. I don't. Oh, they also have one that's on the front. But that's without this little... This is actually like a extra armor. I didn't know that. I don't see any of these armored cars with freaking numbers on the side of the... Wow. I guess they didn't need to identify each other that way. I don't see any of them have any kind of numbering system on the side of them. Okay, that's cool. Well, there's no doubt about that. Doing that. Do we want to put one there? I'm going to say no, because I don't think I'm going to be able to fit it all the way to the bottom there. Okay. All right, well, that's good. That part's done. So this turret's pretty much good to go. Let's, I hope I don't fuck this up doing this, but let's give it a shot. Let's give it a shot at screwing it up. Yeah, I can't use them. Those decals for the license plate, they're too big. We're not going to get the wet palette out just for this. That's the one we're going to use for the numbering. God, I just wanted a little dot of it. Always overdoing shit. All right. Is it 2 lines or is it 1 line? I hope it's 2 lines. What am I looking for? My glasses so I can find myself. I am better looking for this. I think it's 2 lines of text. As soon as I can find one. Good Lord. Okay, the license plate number is down here on the bottom of that one. All right, cool. We could do that too. Let's do these easy ones first. Show me. Here we go. Okay, it said WH and then a bunch of numbers down there. Like how many numbers? 1, 2, 7 numbers. Then I can paint a WH on it. Woohoo! No, that's a bit much. That's taking it. That's taking it too far. That's taking it too far. This is going to be a pain in the ass. All right. Let's go back to doing this the way we used to do it. Before I found out about this thinner. And I got tons of this stuff. Flow Aid. I just got to remember what the hell I used to put this in. That'll work. 1 drop's all it takes. Let's go back to the screen. Hey, Joe. We're working on the license plate on a German armored car. I'll take insanity for 1,000, please. And we're just going to make it look like there's a number there. We don't have the Osprey series on Nazi license plates. Here. Now just a little wah, 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 wah. That's good enough for me. I wouldn't even put them on there if they weren't so damn prominent. All right, and we've got one that goes across the bottom here. Got it. There's some wah 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 there on the front too. I know, why even bother to do it? I don't know. Because it's kind of prominent. And no numbers on here. Which is going to be really difficult to identify each other. So that one's done. Stug's done. Well, still going to have weathering. We'll do the weathering once it's glued on here. Is this dry now? Probably. You return. We've been warned. Dun, dun, dun. And then this one is here. And of course, not all the wheels touch the ground because this is a really shitty model. You could put numbers on the back of the turret. Did they have some? But then they got to go over the twin hatch. I haven't seen any. I didn't see any vehicles that have a 232 on the back of it. This is going to look so much better when it's not glossy. Yeah, no number, no frickin' numbers at all. That's crazy. I never thought about that. About this one. I bet there's nothing on that one either. Oh, it's frickin' tiny. Oh. How strange. Pumas have numbers on them, but many of these early ones didn't. I don't see a single picture of one with one on. That's crazy. Nicknames. Yeah, nothing. Let me check one thing. Oh. Okay. We'll cut it off when the daughter gets home, which could be any minute. All right, let's paint these guys, and we're gonna have to let that dry anyways. And do we like this color? Yeah, it's okay. I was thinking of actually doing for the Russians the same color I have for the Huns, which is very steppe looking. See, where are the damn Huns? Oh, they're packed away for travel. Yeah, they look very clay-like. We're gonna keep these going. We're gonna keep this color going. It's relatively not that difficult to change if I want to change it later on. All right, let's get one of these that we've used in the past, and I actually found a much quicker way to paint this shit. Yeah, we'll use this one. You saw one that had a 21 on it. Okay. Well, you know, I'm going to forego that. I'm going to punt on that. Happy weekend, everybody. Yeah, man, you too. We're going to put some spots of chocolate brown. And then let's put this on a device where I'm not going to get most of the paint on myself. And fill it in. Stuff dries a lot quicker than the other stuff. The Liquitex. Good thing, because it's no mole. I won't decide on that number thing yet. I might look at it tomorrow and see if I want to put some on there, but which means tomorrow morning geez, kind of thick there. Tomorrow morning we're probably going to work on the other Panzer IIIs. But it's I like the little bit of a blue hue that it has to it. Just wish it wasn't so dark, but I haven't weathered it yet. It'll at least the edges will lighten up a little bit. I think it'll be fine when I add the when I flatten it. Something magical happens when you add the flat. Things just always seem to look better. Found the site, don't know if the link works. Okay, I'll check it out. I think it'd be very strange if they wouldn't have a number on it, but Pumas always have the number on them. Could always hand paint a little one on there. Maybe in yellow. I don't like when the numbers end up going over periscopes and stuff like that. It just looks like, really, you've got everywhere in the vehicle? Why did you put it there? We'll see how this thing looks. This thing's going to look great compared to the model. The model is very, very shoddy. Very, very shoddy. And I already had it. I wouldn't buy one of these again. I'd buy a Plastic Soldier Company ones. Those come with, I think, 5 armored cars. No, I think it's either 3 or 5 armored cars in the whole pack. And you can build one of these with the radar, or the 263, which is the command one. Just has an MG34 and a casement. It doesn't have a turret, just a casement. I think that's right. I don't think it has the howitzer one, which is the 233. Yeah, this thing will look right how we wanted it when we end up adding the dull coat to it. We're going to brush on the dull coat too. I don't want to screw it up with the spray. The spray's not flat enough anyways. Okay. So I'm going to let that dry overnight. Just gives the impression there's a license plate there. I think that'll work. Same thing with the front there. Anyhow, we're going to go ahead and call it a night. And we'll pick up in the morning. Hopefully this will be dry. We'll glue these guys together and weather these up. I'm not going to go crazy on the weathering. I do want to remember that they are gray. But we'll see you guys in the morning. if you're around. I'm only going to be paying till about no later than 8 o'clock Eastern. So, because I got to hit the road. So, but yeah, they're very glossy, and it definitely changes the appearance, because once you got something that's really flat, like this US truck, it looks a lot better. Flat. And this one actually hasn't been sealed, so. Okay, to be continued in the morning.